When Panama was formed about 2.8 million years ago, this corridor that we're on became this extraordinary corridor of biotic exchange.
An average forest in Europe, in Russia, in Japan might have 12 to 18 species of tree per hectare. There are more than 240 species of tree per hectare on that side. And that is why we fight so hard to help save the last big chunks of primary forest. Things that we fight are worth fighting because not only that is absolutely spectacular, but also that can make a difference in the long term, even if we are not always successful in every single battle.
So we began the Mamani Valley Preserve with a vision. So in addition to beauty and the restoration and the gorgeous primary forests that we both helped to protect and to help restore, you have also people with a shared love of learning from nature, at utilizing the gifts nature has to give us opportunity that we can discover how to unlock the gifts, the resources, and the wisdom she has to give us. We brought several of our participants to our Mamani Valley Preserve and offered a number of our key participants the opportunity not only to experience the upland rainforest preserve that we have been creating over the last 18 years, now 4,000 hectares, but also to take the trek that changes one's life, to go from our side of the Isthmus of Panama, the Pacific side, and go up over the Continental Divide and into the territory of the autonomous Kuna people. Over the years, we've been offering this experience to young people, and for them, it's been a real hero's journey. But you know what? We want everyone that's coming into our world to experience a rite of passage.
You know, there's so much information about biodiversity, and I'm always pumping out information. And one of the things that strikes me still is how crucial it is to let people just feel the forest. Feel it. It's not just all of this, why is it so important? Why is there so many different species of plants and animals? Why is it capturing carbon and helping with the water cycle and helping the planet or whatever? All of these things are important. But at the end of the day, people are not going to care nearly as much unless they get a chance to feel the forest, to feel what it's like. This place was logged. The high-value timber species were extracted. But that was going on when Nathan arrived. He bought the land and stopped the logging.
We've had a part to play in protecting a zone that has vital importance. We've created what our Kuna neighbors call El Colchón Verde, or 18 kilometers of protection, protecting primary forest, protecting susceptibility. Because we're only 90 minutes to Cuban International Airport, we're 2 hours from the city, it's an easy part of their vulnerable patrimony for invasion. And indeed, that's what they've suffered over the years before we got here.
So we're going to be going down another 150 or so meters. Then we're going to go slightly upwards and then down into officially the Kuna territory.
Kangandi village, 3 weeks ago, the main house or the ceremony house was in fire. For rebuild the houses or the main house, each man of the community has to give 100 of those leaves. We are going to use it as our roof. Those sticks, it goes over here like this, vertically all the way there.
Now one of the biggest battles, which specifically Geoversity and M100 has been trying to spearhead in Panama, is getting bamboo put into the building code so stuff can actually be insured and then it can actually be used in large-scale construction as it is in Colombia or Costa Rica.
Whenever you're involved with the work of now Geoversity and our non-governmental organization, Train, the company that supported the family of Colin Wheel in creating Rainforest Capital, we've always, from the get-go, involved young indigenous leaders, elders.
I was born in Cunayala. I grew up in Cunayala. I did everything, cultural traditions, but I got lucky to study in Switzerland, and a friend from the school, he asked me, Inikilipi, you are indigenous? I said, yes. In what do you believe? That was the question who made me look back and to say, wait. I have my own beliefs. We believe in mother, in father. Our grandfather is the sun. Our grandmother is the sea. So when I got back, I was full of passion. And I cannot change the world, but I can change my world or people around me that look forward and we can go all together in the same direction. So that's what I'm trying to do.
The leader of the team of Kunas pushed those illegal settlers out and back on the Pacific side, get the forest empty again, and those 1,000 or 2 hectares are still in recovery after 20 years.
So that instead of just protecting primary forest, we're creating opportunities that are ultimately the best barrier to destruction.
And standard, American or European tactic for conservation would be to come in, buy a bunch of land, kick all the locals out, fence it off, and then that just kicks the problem to the other side of the fence and it continues on from there. And then once the trees have grown back, you have illegal hunting and illegal logging coming back on. And since we still have all these communities living within the checkerboard of properties, the only option, and really the best option, is sustainable economic development. Because without that, how do you actually have sustainable conservation? And so specifically what this site has been really a test site for seeing what combinations of integrated agriculture actually work here. As you can see on the wall there, there's a number of different formulas, and that's specifically of us producing our own organic herbicides and pesticides and fungicides. And that's something that saves a massive amount of money for locals that are addicted to glyphosate and purchasing medicina. And ideally, then that's a model that can be transplanted to other parts of the planet. to where you're not kicking out the people and you're conserving both the environment and the culture and the people.
The special thing for me on this trip was that this was not a tourist trip. This was a trip about meeting and exactly getting to know each other. Developing even more this ecosystem I talk about, where we share a mission, how to can create a new alliance. To do that, sometimes you need to meet under very different circumstances, go places where you haven't been, uncertain, and suddenly just glued together because you cannot prepare for it really. That river is not any river. I mean, there's a river trip, you can get the kind of the adventure stuff, but this is a river leading into an indigenous territory of the Kuna people.
We went to Kardi Suiduk. We are having a really huge situation. We are dealing with sea level increasing because of the climate change. We cannot stop. Also, the island is getting really small for us. So we cannot make bigger community because the sea is coming up. So we need to move to the mainland.
So here you have traditional societies really up against the forces of modernity, garbage floating in from far away, a rising sea, working heroically to adjust, to change, and yet the challenges keep coming. This expedition is taking place at a time when decisions have to be made. What do they want in the communities they have to build now on the mainland? How can we help you build structures, community, a landscape that truly is what you want and not something being imposed by the government?
Deal with other indigenous people is different each time. You cannot say, I work with indigenous people, no, okay, so I know everything how to do it. No, it's not like, I know how to work with French and Inuits and American, US American, stuff like that. It's similar, different.
You are
the visitors. They would like to know about you first, and then they are going to speak a bit more about us. It was really like kinda a challenge for me because I was with the foreigners in our village.
They have heard promises years and years from government, from NGOs, from missionaries, from whoever we are. And they have always been let down, almost always. So they're just so tired. I mean, just to get these people, authorities, to show up at a meeting like this is a challenge.
One of the obstacles that my people have is they had the opportunity to start everything 10 years ago, but they couldn't move as how they wanted to do it with the traditional like designs and everything.
Don't leave everything behind. Culture, firmness, collectivity.
They are thinking to build themselves the house.
My dream is that we can support you to design a house. Because we're neighbors, of course we want to be good friends. We don't only want to protect our territory. We want all of us to protect all these territories together so that our forest, our people have a long future together.
Cut the crap, get to it, tell exactly what you mean, if you are certain about what you have to say, and get to it. You're gonna waste weeks, months, years just babbling along with those guys. They will respect you more.
The challenge of supporting the unsung heroes, the grassroots leaders that have a vision but no power, have competence but no team, whose lives are threatened and they have no constituency. That's a core of what our program is about, that we're encouraging, challenging, and linking these young and, in some cases, quite elderly leaders who just need that network of support.
Create this kind of conscience, trying to include nature in the projects. We start this process with Geoversity. Through the Biomuseum, we are putting together designers, students, architects, and urbanists.
And so these days we are sharing together under the banner, The Nature of Business, a combination of business leaders and scientists and artists addressing the question that is at the heart of Geoversity. How can businesses be in their values, their origin, their motives, and in their visioning in harmony with nature, and also effective as creators of habitat, of enterprise, exploring the questions, the opportunities, and the camaraderie that we can create around the mission of Geoversity.
The people are looking right now for peace, contact with the nature, so the business people understand that, and sustainable business depends on sustainable environment.
People ask me, well, what's your background, Nathan? And I'd love to be able to say, well, I'm an international development expert and development economist. But if truth be known, I'm really a performance artist. I'm a person that creates mosaics, and my element are people. Sharing that, both love of nature and a search for how we can work with nature.